right, guys. Welcome to the show.
Guys, we're back.
Big, hot 1:30.
Hot One podcast is what you're going to get, folks.
Oh,
I'm Tom C. That over there.
Dude, look at this auspicious audio recording that kind of looked like an eagle that's already passed.
No, I saw it. It was the Noble Hawk recording that we often do. That's D Marx over there.
Wavelength. Guys,
it's
D
a
Marx
Sons
here,
of Idiot show.
Tom C. over there. We're hunkering down. We're ready to go.
Guys, it finally happened.
Hold on a second. Let's start this off with a high energy high five. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good.
Great. Yeah, I'm feeling good about that.
Yeah, it was nice.
Motivating my hand through vibrations.
Yeah.
Folks, it
that
finally...
stinging sensation in your palm lets you know you're alive.
The vibrations in your hand becomes the flutters of your heart.
It's like a chi thing.
And guys...
Moving on.
The reason I'm so excited, because it finally happened, they announced the Sons of Idiot video game.
Yep. Finally. We've been keeping it under wraps for 3 years now.
It finally happened.
It's happened.
We can announce it. It apparently was already existing 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it just got done now, but we've been working on it in the video game minds.
Literally day one of our
away.
show, some dev comes to us and says, "Hey, we want to make the official Vidya story of Sons of Vidya."
Scooping out all the programming deep from within the Earth's crust.
We're talking about the Earth's inner programming core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it all is.
Where all the data
here it is. Crust, mantle, programming core.
Yeah. That's where Minecraft came from.
Guys, did you see those hand signals? I know you did.
Nope, no one did.
What?
So,
what are you basing that on?
I'm just saying this is an audio thing. It's just not.
What does that have to do with
anything?
anything?
You can't see audio.
I signed it. Does that count?
Yeah. So, folks, what is the game? You're asking that right now.
2D platformer.
2D platformer, sure.
It's a 2D platformer collectathon.
And because...
It's also randomly generated.
Mm-hmm. And there's only 2 characters in it, but neither of them are player 2.
It's true.
It's only a 1-player game.
Also, oddly enough, neither of them are us.
Neither of us.
It's Mario and Sonic.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got the rights to that.
Yeah.
Not sure if we did actually get the rights to it. Mm-hmm. I just know that that's what the game is.
If you're looking for it in the store, it's called Mario and Sonic Go to the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's not a 2D platformer.
Sochi 2012.
No, listen, all joking aside, this is going to be the GOAT. It's going to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the GOAT-A, because this is the first time a game has been made about our show. It's going to be great. You can only beat it. Only beat it.
Game of the all years?
Game of all years. Yeah, game of the year of all years.
So it'd be GOAT yay.
No, game of the year.
Game of the year.
Wait, no, it's greatest of all time or something.
Greatest of all time.
That's what GOAT is.
Right. Oh, so it'd be Goat-Tote.
Yeah, let's go with Goat-Tote.
Goat-Tote.
It's the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time, Goat-Tote.
Anyway, regardless,
guys,
it's gonna be the Goat-Tote for sure.
Video.
That thing we just found out, it's gonna be that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All that high energy into a video game. What system is it on? All of them.
Yeah. Being
retro-leased for the Super Nintendo, the Sega Dreamcast.
Here's what I've heard also. There's a very interesting player interaction where people can just get tattoos of the game and get tattoos of them progressing through levels. Mm-hmm. Just hope that your tattoo artist is really good. Otherwise, you're going to have to restart from the beginning.
It's true. You also get it.
There ain't no save points.
Not in this game.
Nope. Or checkpoints.
Nope. If you do something really cool in your tattoo, you get a tattoo achievement.
It's true.
Which is a picture of my face.
Guys, it's password based only. Each
yeah,
password is NSA regulated. It has a total of 20 characters. Mm-hmm. Both numbers and letters and special characters.
And capitals.
Sensitive.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, case sensitive, of course. And, no dictionary words.
No. You don't need them.
Easy to remember, guys.
Folks, this is a dream come true for me, and I'm sure it is for D Marx too.
It's true. I've always wanted to see my face on some hairy dude's arm.
I meant the game, but that part would be cool too.
Well, the tattoo portion of the game.
Let's be honest.
That was something I had in mind from the get-go.
Yeah, that part's still amazing, and the only real way to beat the game.
Yeah, it's true.
Let me ask you this question. If someone got a tattoo, one of your face or two of the logo for Sons of Video, which would be more flattering to our show?
I think the logo would be pretty cool.
I think the logo would be cool.
I think that's a much more likely one.
It's more likely, of course. But if someone got a picture of your face, it was like stenciled and it said D Marx in the Obey font, how would you feel about that? I think it would be great.
That'd be pretty funny.
It'd be really great. It would be it would be funny and awesome.
And then they could, right next to it, they got a Tom C one that says Hope.
Oh, dude.
Right?
I feel like that's already a thing I made, but it's not. But
in my head, it's been made for years.
Oh, probably
it's the last thing I see before I go to sleep, and the first thing I see when I wake up.
Probably 8 years ago I made that.
Well, you know what, guys? You know what was only 9 years, though, in the making?
What?
The time and space between Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain. Guys,
shoot!
Seamless segue.
Real talk, folks.
So seamless. I have to bring it up, otherwise no one would know that we changed the subject.
Guys, it's finally happened. No disrespect to D Marx, who carried himself with pure nobility to go through these last 2 weeks.
I was the proudest of tigers, it's true.
And only say what I wanted to hear because I am selfish. But now, folks, it's happened and we can really get to it.
Yeah, I really can't wait to dig deep.
I got to buy Phantom Pain because of some fudging the numbers around, mixing up dates or something. I got to purchase this game that I was waiting for so long, and I got to play it for 13 hours.
Guys.
Even though I worked like 55 hours this week, I still found 13 hours to play it.
And guys, he hates it.
Hate it. Folks,
Boo, he says.
Metal Gear stupid is more like it.
Metal Gear.
Trash, I say.
The Fadton pain in my butt.
Hold on, what's that first word?
Fadton.
Like it's a fad?
Yeah.
Right.
Let's just move on.
Just kidding, I love it. So I'm gonna give you some initial concepts for you to stew on.
Okay.
And then you can
we know how much I like to stew.
Yeah. Make a Dinty Moore over there.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. One,
they called me Beef back in high school. But that was for different reasons.
They call you Beef?
Yeah.
That's a cool nickname.
It's a good nickname, right? Would you prefer to be called Beef or Steak?
No. Here's the deal. I'm saying Beef. Here's the deal. If you're in Texas, Steak. If you're
what about Ribeye?
Yes.
Ribeye's good.
That'd be a great trucker name. But not in high school. Tbone, great.
I don't know. I think you could pull off a Ribeye.
I think
if you lived in Texas.
Oh, if you live in Texas, you can get away with anything.
Yeah.
But listen, dude.
Also, Tbone wouldn't make it past the 80s.
No, it wouldn't.
The second you hit 1990,
no, you can do it 90. That's a rad name.
Yeah, all right.
2000's where it goes down the tube.
No, I'm saying you're going to make it to 93.
Because here's what I'm basing.
And that's when the ratitude is going to fall off.
I'm basing it off the fact that TLC was a 90s band, and someone's named T-Boz, which is close enough.
But it's a lady, so it's different.
That's true. It's 100% true.
Guys, genders.
Anyway. So, here's what I want to say. I'm going to give you a couple initial thoughts that I want you to mull around within your head. Because you gave all your initial thoughts. Here's my initial thoughts.
Okay.
One,
okay.
And these are going to be things I mentioned to you in private already, but now I'm bringing them to the stage. One, this shouldn't have been called Metal Gear Solid 5. It should have been called Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker 2.
And I agree with you on that.
Because I can already see why some people are complaining about this game, even though I definitely haven't read any comments about it. I would fully believe that there are so many people who would be upset that this game is not a linear Metal Gear Solid style narrative. Now it took the exact opposite of 4 and is now just gameplay and like never any cutscenes. Yeah, there is cutscenes, but there's so much gameplay.
I almost think the lack of cutscenes is a little distracting in some cases, where you're just kind of like, certain big events happen. Like you get,
I need you to tell me where that one that you have to look for is.
Oh, I'll tell you about it off air.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, there may be spoilers. I doubt it, but I'm still not very far, so there probably won't be spoilers.
Did you get a side ops that's extract the wandering mother base soldier yet?
Yeah, that was horrifying.
Okay. All right, then I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that like you get these certain cassettes, guys, and some of them are story related, and that's
meaning you get 1,000 of them.
Yeah, and that's how the story, and that's how a lot of the stories relate actually.
Which is weird
because you find out a lot about the enemies in Africa and Afghanistan through Miller and Ocelot being like, "Hey, Snake, why don't you sit down over this coffee and newspaper, and we'll talk all about these dudes."
By the way, not like a fun exaggeration. That's literally exactly how it is.
Yeah. So, or in my mind, even funnier. You just come back to the helicopter, and Pequot's just like, "Boss, I got a tape for you. It's from Ocelot. He has some things to say to you."
Even funnier, sometimes it's, "Hey, boss, I got you this tape. It's you and this guy talking."
Yeah.
But
that's I guess what they thought that the solution was to put all the story in these cassettes rather than have people sit through 10 hours worth of cutscenes.
Right. It's mostly backstory that's taken care of that way, from my experience so far. That's one of the reasons I think people might complain, is because the actual things that are occurring in the game is like far and between.
Have you figured out?
Few and far between.
Have you figured out what I'm going to say probably is one of my biggest complaints of this game so far is? Because if you know me, I think you'll be able to figure it out.
Well, my initial thing would be assuming that you'd be upset there's no, like, nice people.
Exactly.
But you have Mother Base.
That's true. However, my counter to that is, I'm not talking about Mother Base, because obviously Mother Base is fine.
I think you probably love Mother Base.
Mother Base is okay. I mean, there are certain aspects to it that are interesting, and I like looking at the different constructions and stuff. It doesn't feel like a complete waste of time because there is stuff scattered around, but I mean it's a distraction more than anything else. I wish there was more to do in Mother Base, because you
get side ops.
Yeah, but that's not what I was talking about. Like, it'd be cool to check in with Ocelot or Miller every once in a while, or
just being able to talk to people would be nice.
Yeah, you don't really get to do that. You get to overhear soldiers talking about it, but that's the thing. But my idea is that, so you're in Afghanistan.
I already know what you're gonna say.
So you're in Afghanistan. Where are the Afghans? Nobody lives there except for Russians and prisoners.
That's unfortunately a great point.
Yeah, nobody lives there. Because imagine, if you will, a sweet kick-ass game like the first 2 acts of Metal Gear Solid 4, where you have a bunch of
there's combatants and stuff.
We have sweet mujahideen that you can just jump into the middle of, leading assaults on Soviet positions, and mortar fires raining down, and they're getting shelled by a tank. So you grab your sweet tandem charge RPG and blast it, and they take a position, and they're all like, saying Afghan things in their cool Pashto language.
In retrospect, that would have been a cooler game.
Yeah, it would have been a way cooler game.
Because right now you're kind of going into ghost towns that just have a bunch of Soviets in it.
Yeah, you a bunch of empty shacks and enemies, and that's it.
Yeah, a bunch of houses that probably had people in it at some point, but now contain only... I guess you're in occupied Afghanistan.
Yeah, but even in occupied France, there were still people living in Paris.
Of course there is.
They didn't just kick them out.
Yeah,
it's not like
maybe this happens later in the game.
And it's not like you're in bumblefuck nowhere, Afghanistan. You're in Kabul. You're near the capital.
Yeah, that is a really good point that I wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah, and
it makes total sense.
I see it less in Africa just because, I think the civilians there would be more likely to vacate an area because you're in a more industrialized zone.
Yeah.
It's a lot more, there's oil fields and plantations and stuff like that. So I can see there not being a lot of civilian presence, but Afghanistan, I feel like there's almost no excuse. Like, it's almost ludicrous. There's not a single person. Because it'd be cool if you had this, like, what was kind of promised in the early stages of BioShock Infinite, where you walk into a village. You don't know if these people are going to be friendly to you or if they're going to turn you over to the Soviets. Like, if they're on alert, and Soviets come to town, they're like, "Hey, we're looking for Big Boss." You don't know if they're just going to be like, "Hey, you give me, 5,000 Afghani dollars, and Big Boss is in that dumpster over there."
Yeah,
like that'd be a super tense game where you're like, not sure if you can trust the civilians, and not sure if the civilians trust you.
And you could build relationships.
Yeah, you could be like, "Oh, guess what? This town is totally fine. It's my safe zone."
Because here's my problem that I'm now thinking about. Why did they choose this area to go to anyway?
You mean Afghanistan?
This specific spot of Afghanistan.
I guess because it's the capital. It's Kabul. It's probably got a high Soviet presence.
Okay, why do they care about Soviets? Because...
Oh, I think it's because they know Skullface is there.
Apparently, they don't know who Skullface is.
Well, no, Miller tells you about it. I mean, they know. I think they know that the XOF unit is operating in Afghanistan. Is the idea?
Because when he first encounters Skullface, they don't seem to know who he is. In the Honeybees mission, Snake gets trapped by a Metal Gear, or whatever, or something. You just see something, and then Skullface comes up to talk to him. Then he's like,
"It's a casual story."
Yeah, but they're like, "Who was that man?" When it's obvious. If you're going to sit here and pretend his Lone Ranger mask disguised him, I'm going to seriously write a letter to somebody.
No, because nobody saw him leading the attack on Mother Base 9 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I think the idea is that they know that XOF is there. They don't know who's in charge of XOF.
How do they know XOF is there?
I guess through intel, because the idea they make a repeated point that Miller has had contact with Cypher,
right,
and that he's been kind of working with it. So it makes sense that Miller has an idea of he can kind of track Cypher's movements and figure out, hey, they send XOAC into Afghanistan, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Guys, by the way, I realize that this sounds like a lot of negatives about this game right off the bat. This is something I wouldn't... I love the game, and I'm in love with it.
You're allowed to, like, you know.
Yeah, but I haven't even said a positive thing yet.
That's fair.
I loved Peace Walker, and I like this a lot. I like and I'm amazed by how big the world is. Though it could be a little more full feeling. You're right, and it does get kind of repetitive because you're either taking over outposts or you're taking over towns.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints about the repetition of this game, and I definitely understand where they're coming from.
Because
that's why I spend a lot of time. That's why I've been spending a lot of time doing base building stuff. Is because it's at least different. Like, I just most of it is really just me it's me just wasting time in between combat deployments.
Yeah,
just waiting for my dudes to get back.
Right. The problem is combat.
That's your moneymaker.
Oh yeah, combat's so much fun though that I kind of forget about how little else there is. Because every engagement is exciting and interesting. Usually there's enough going on.
It's heart pounding sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, like
because I think in this game especially, it's a big deal when the enemy sees you.
Oh, dude!
If you're not ready for it.
So that mission where you get Take On Me,
is
a side ops where you have to rescue a prisoner, right? So I was doing that mission the first time, and it's going pretty good. But then all of a sudden, I'm getting the soldier out. Some rando dude spots me, shoots the prisoner right in the head, and kills him right off the bat. I'm like, oh, balls. So the whole thing goes tits up, and I'm booking it out there. I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like calling P-Quad. I'm like, get to the landing zone. I'm going through like this river to get there, and I'm flying off a helicopter. I'm like, we're taking revenge for this. So I go back in the command center, and I grab a sweet actual lethal rifle. I'm like, I'm going to go and straight up kill these dudes. So I land back again, retake the side op, and just rip through them, and I just don't even care. I'm just like, douche, 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 and just kill everybody. It's awesome.
That's cool.
See, that happens all the time, though, because there's so much, like, it's just an entirely different way than normal Metal Gear is.
Yeah.
Because you really are free to engage it however you want. It's total freedom in, like, a Metal Gear feeling.
Yeah, and it's weird because, like, I'm so paranoid about killing people in this game because I feel like it's a huge detriment, but, like, it really is not.
There might be a consequence, is what I'm guessing.
Well, but I think the consequence is if you don't move people.
No, I think there's probably... I read an article on Steam that there's like a hidden karma system.
Well, yeah, but that's not... I'm talking real game consequences.
I think you maybe get a bigger horn.
Yeah.
But, no, I told you before, killing people is totally OP in this game.
Yeah.
It's absolutely OP. It's the best thing in the world. Because you're like, well, you can't take them home. And I'm like, if you shoot them right, you can. Who cares? It works immediately, no matter what, because your UN arc shoots straight through helmets.
Yeah.
Does not care. It hits everywhere all the time. All the good guns are automatic or semi-automatic. So, like, everything's fine. Everything's great. But then they give you the UN arc non-lethal version, which is just as good as the other one, and just knocks them out instead. So why don't use that all the time?
The only reason I don't use the rubber bullet gun is just because it's not silenced.
Maybe they get a silencer eventually.
They do. The last level is silenced.
Yeah, which would obviously be the best gun in the game, which is what you always wanted in every Metal Gear.
Also, I don't think headshots with the rubber bullets knock people out.
You are wrong.
Interesting.
Trust me. Do that all day. My new thing is I just get on horseback, right up to guard stations. They go like, is that a guy on a horse? Let's go into reflex mode. By the way, guys, reflex is totally broken. Let's go into reflex mode. And I'm like, you got it. And then I kill every single one of them and knock them out in one fell swoop. And I'm like, well, you got philanthropy, 300 points. And I'm like, sweet. That's all it is to it. Because that gun's way too good. It's what you always want in every Metal Gear game. Because you're like, but it only stuns, doesn't trank. Who cares? Who cares about that at all?
Yeah, if you're quick enough with the Fulton, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's the whole thing, is Fulton's also too OP, because it's the perfect solution to every Metal Gear problem.
Like, I need to get this dude out of here so that his enemies don't see him. Because nobody seems to notice just all the rifles on the floor strewn about. No one takes notice of that.
They do notice balloons, though.
Yes.
That's true. But they never, like... Wasn't Bill here earlier? I guess he went home sick. Never happens.
No. Wandered off into the Afghan wasteland.
Never happens.
We're going to wander off for this half.
So much to talk about.
We still got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we'll see you later.
See ya.
Guys, we're back.
Guys, welcome to Beard Chat. Who has the best beard on Earth?
Probably... Well, here's the thing: is I met a lot of gay guys who have really attractive beards.
Yeah, I bet you do meet a lot of gay guys.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem with that is.
Who said there's a problem? Sounds great.
Anyway, their beards were all really nice and very attractive,
folks.
Lovely people.
I just realized I don't care about this at all. Guys, we have to talk more about Metal Gear, and I know what you're all saying.
Now hold on. Now I'm just imagining Tom C's stand-up of just. Guys, I'm done with this joke.
The joke has ended. I've realized I do not care. Anyway.
Hey, where are you guys from? Sorry, I don't give a shit anymore.
I can see that working in an unfunny Daniel Tosh way.
Classic.
Anyway, folks. So, y'all were at home waiting for me to play this game. And I feel selfish because we should have celebrated D Marx playing the game first. We should have, but we couldn't. It was my fault.
I'm just happy we can talk about it freely and openly.
Thank you. And I know some of you are mad because it's all we talked about the last 3 weeks.
We're going to keep talking about it. I don't know.
Guess what? It's all we talked about for a million weeks because we talked about it before it came out, too. So
Also, pro tip, we're just going to talk about Fallout when that comes out, too.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem
Why don't you sod off? Anyway.
Because guess what, guys? I took the day off from work out the day after it came out, so I got nothing but time.
That sounds great. I'm jealous for you. What weekday does that come out on?
It comes out on a Tuesday. I took that Wednesday off.
Yeah, you did the right thing. What day of the year?
November 10th.
All right, that's good enough. Yeah.
Whatever that Tuesday is.
That's 2016, my man. You got to look at that calendar.
There we go. Yeah, it's November 10th.
November 10th. All right.
Guys.
But we have plenty of time between that to play.
We got a whole month before that comes out.
Thank goodness. So anyway.
What are your impressions about the game so far? Like, how are you feeling about, where the story's going, where the characters are going?
I think it's going to be neat. I'm interested in seeing where things are going. It's all crazy, like super crazy.
Do you also agree with one of my other complaints that I had about this game? About how they're replacing Miller as your side bro with Ocelot?
I haven't noticed that as much yet. Maybe that comes into play more.
That's probably true.
But the thing is, I think that makes sense because everything I'm doing in this game, I'm trying to think Metal Gear Solid 1. Like, how it's going to lead to that. I know you're saying it leads to Metal Gear 1 and 2. But in Metal Gear Solid, you still have Ocelot, you still have Miller.
Right.
So I want to kind of... In my head, I'm like, why was Miller against them? Why was Ocelot here? Like,
yeah, well, I don't know.
Like, that's something I've been keeping in mind. Because, at the end of the day...
I think Kaz was I think he was a call in... I think he was featured in Metal Gear, the original one, too.
Probably. But he was definitely in Metal Gear Solid. As the ally of Foxhound. Wait, is Foxhound the bad guys or the good guys?
Yeah, he was the bad... they were the bad guys. He was your support ops in... He was he was helping you fight against Foxhound.
Okay, who was your team in Metal Gear Solid 1?
You were...
Because I always think it's Foxhound because I'm...
No, you were Nameless.
I'm fairly sure both sides were Foxhound. I would bet you $1 that both sides are called Foxhound.
Sure.
Because Because I know for a fact that Snake was wearing Foxhound logos.
I don't think he was. No, I don't think he had any identifying markings on him.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think it was. I always heard it was a.
For some reason, there's any kind of confusion about it, which is weird.
I always thought it was.
I think you're right. I know that the enemy force is Foxhound for sure.
Yeah, I always thought it was just you were kind of private, military, CIA, whatever you want to call it, Black Ops deal trying to take down Foxhound.
So is Foxhound in Metal Gear 1?
Yeah, Foxhound is the original unit that you're in.
So that means at the end of this game, most likely you will form Foxhound.
Yeah, because Big Boss formed Foxhound.
Yeah. Out of Diamond Dogs. Probably.
Yeah.
Logically. Okay, so I'm very, very interested in seeing how this kind of leads to Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, I think, because there are a few things that I've immediately, that came to mind immediately about questions that I have. Number one, where's Miller getting his hands and legs back? Because in the art for Metal Gear Solid, he has both, and nobody's getting fooled by just being like, oh, wait, of course Liquid was Miller the whole time. Miller didn't have a hand. Shit, how'd we let this one go? So, at some point, he's going to have to get,
Yeah, cyber
back.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole bunch of stuff. But that I'm very interested in seeing where it's going. I do like we said before that there's a lot of Moby Dick analogies, which is very I'm very on board with as a fan of the.
Yeah, it really doesn't hide it.
What this means is that there's going to be a resurgence for us of the album Leviathan by Mastodon.
That'd be neat.
It's going to be great. I have to sneeze really bad, and I just can't do it. Say something to make me sneeze.
Bless you.
It's too late. Ugh. Anyway, so I haven't really done enough of the story stuff yet to figure out what's going on, but I'm excited to see what happens. I'm very, very excited. And I don't hate the direction it's going because I know where it's going to end up, and I'm very interested in how they get there.
Yeah, I think because you're definitely also right about the Ocelot connection because
use your words.
Because I guess Ocelot originally followed Liquid because he was trying to fight against the Patriots to begin with, right? That's the idea.
Probably.
Because he wouldn't be against. Because what was established at the end of 4 was that basically Ocelot's been trying to fight against the Patriots since almost day 1.
Yeah.
Since basically their formation, he's always tried to fight against them.
Basically.
So my guess would be that the reason he went along with Liquid is because he wanted to get. Actually, I think they totally explain this in 4, and I'm just.
They absolutely do.
Because they wanted to get his DNA back.
Is Big Boss part of the Patriots?
I think in 4 they explained that.
So Zero and Big Boss are both.
I think, yes. I think Big Boss helped found the Patriots probably before the events of Peace Walker.
Yes.
And then they had an ideological split in kind of going along with the whole Cold War thing.
So then he wasn't really a part of the Patriots. He was part of the...
Yeah, I think he wasn't part of the, ingrained, He
wasn't part of 2's Patriots.
Yeah, no. He was long out by then.
Yeah, so that's fine. So what probably happened is, in addition to what you said, Ocelot probably hates the Patriots for not doing Big Boss stuff. Because he's a Big Boss fanboy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine. I'm down with that. Yeah, I'm very much on board. I'm excited to see where it's going, though I'm not rushing the story because I want to I want to do all the side missions because I'm loving the game. But my problem is...
Luckily, they do give you a lot of chance. There's no real rushing ahead because you get a lot of chances to go back and do stuff.
I mean, that's true. One, if you fail a side mission, you can do it again.
Yeah.
But they also make them varied
enough.
Missions,
though,
I failed that one where the guy got shot in the head. They are shockingly varied. Because it would have been easy for them to be just go clear this base.
Yeah.
Because that wandering soldier's weird and interesting. They have recover certain things.
Yeah, that's another thing in this game. There are a few things that happen that no one seems to bat an eyebrow about. Not the least of which is the wandering mother base soldiers, who seem to exhibit a lot of signs that the skulls exhibit. Nobody seems to bring that up.
I was scared of it.
Yeah. But nobody on base is, though. Everyone's pretty cool with it. Because, like, Big Boss is like, these guys are kind of jumping around a lot and being all zombie-like. They're just like, I don't know what you're talking about, boss. Yeah, you are clearly going insane.
I like it's really weird.
Because I just did a mission where you had to fight against the skulls. I killed off and when they came out, they took control of all the enemies in the area. So they're all like the mindless zombie proto soldiers. They weren't like
that. Kind of happened in the Honeybee mission.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. So when I killed all the skulls, they all went into stun mode and they just kind of fell unconscious.
That's cool.
So I'm not sure what that means as far as the Wandering Mother base soldiers go. You know, whether or not they're just being controlled or whether they're actually zombies or whatever the deal is. Can we all agree that the zombies are a little weird?
I think they're neat.
I don't know. I think
it's neat. Because that's a Metal Gear thing for sure.
I know. I feel like that's a part of me kind of feels like they want to kind of get some of that vamp back, you know?
Well, if they didn't have stuff like this, you would be like, this game's way too generic. If they didn't have kind of otherworldly stuff sometimes, you'd be like, this is just Red Dead Redemption with modern day stuff, which would have been awesome, and it is awesome.
Yeah, but I think you could get enough of that with like the Walker Gear stuff. I think that stuff's interesting just by itself.
I think you need that kind of supernatural stuff to make it, because that's a key part of every Metal Gear, dude.
Also, I don't know enough about the subject to speak on it, but apparently this game is chock to the brim of Zone of the Enders references. Like a ton of
That's because there's so much effing stuff in this game, there probably is a million everything references.
Because apparently, like, when the skulls pull their guns out of that extra-dimensional pocket space that they exist in...
That would make sense.
That's like Zone of the Enders stuff.
I could believe it.
So I don't know anything else, but I've read that there's a lot of Zone of the Enders things in this game.
By the way, guys...
Apparently there are female skulls who I haven't run into yet.
That doesn't seem necessary. Guys, just for a quick thing, so far I've played 13 hours and I am 6% done with the game.
I'm at I've played 55 hours and I'm at 27%.
So just letting you know... The game is gigantic and ridiculous.
There's a lot of stuff to do.
Here's
What's your emblem?
I don't know how to change it.
Oh, I'll show you.
I can't figure out how to do anything.
Dude, here's something I legitimately miss. I legitimately miss just watching you sit and play video games.
I know. I was tempted to bring down some computers here and maybe rip out a last episode of Mafia or something. But who knows?
Guys, here's the deal. The game's really enjoyable. Tom C knows what he's doing. He's on top of this shit.
I really am enjoying it a lot. There's a lot of things that are hilarious about it.
For real, though, just wait until you get that D-Dog. Because D-Dog is the best.
Okay, there's so many things that are goofy and hilarious, one of which, it never gets old to me, when you're walking on the base and someone goes, hey, thanks for recovering that puppy.
Yeah.
It happens constantly. No, it happens 1,000 times a day.
You always get ones that are just like, those animals would have been dead if it weren't for you, boss. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like they would have been fine.
Wouldn't they have just been alive in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I mean, like these were just donkeys that I found in Africa.
But like,
there was literally a whole herd of them.
Everyone loves the puppy, though.
Yeah,
every single person's like, God, thanks, dude.
Look, because who doesn't love a puppy just running around?
And also, you're going around in big deal mode, like everything's a big problem. You're scared people, and the intel team's like, boss, there's a bird I've never seen before over here.
Yeah.
Go check it out. And I'm like, no. What is the intel team doing where they have to report every new bird?
No, I laugh at the I finally got the maximum bond with D-Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you can change his coloration, which is funny.
That's funny.
So it makes him look like he's a different breed.
That's
hilarious.
And
you can take off his eye patch so he just has the scar, or you can give him artificial eye so he just looks like he's a regular dog.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't understand, like, the intel team. They're so good at their job.
Yeah.
But they're just sitting there on a satellite or something, looking at all the stupid...
Oh, no. Hilariously, when you get I guess when you start building enough platforms or whatever, but when you start building enough platforms, they straight up have Cerebro from X-Men.
What?
Like, they have a giant-ass... let me bring up a little picture of Cerebro here. Because I think Cerebro itself was actually based off of some kind of radar... dealio.
These are all pictures of brains. Let's see.
Can I get an outside here? A lot of insides.
Is this like a place you can go to and see?
It's kind of like that.
What even is that?
Well, in terms of X-Men universe, it's the massive mutant radar, basically, that Professor X uses to get in touch with mutants around the world. But I guess it's just a massive radar dish in thing.
I'm okay with that.
Mother Base, but for real, the first time I saw it, I was just like, this is just Cerebro.
Dude, it's just great. Like, they go over, like, a tape of, like, how the Intel team works. I'm, for some reason, obsessed with the Intel team.
The Intel team was sweet, because
it's awesome. And they're great.
They're like, yeah, they're just everywhere. And don't count on them for help, because they're never going to break cover.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. They're like, you might see them, but don't, like, even if you accidentally... I don't know if, like, I hope that's a thing where at some point you could take out your own Intel team member. That'd be awesome if, like, actually a soldier was one of your Intel team.
Yeah, I doubt it, but that'd be really cool.
It'd be really cool. But, like, they talk about how, like, sometimes they don't even carry weapons. They just fit in with the crowd and talk to people who, as you've mentioned, there are no people and there are no crowds.
Yeah.
Like, that is maybe later in the game there's more of that, but it was one of the coolest things in 4.
Yeah, no, that's what really made those first 2 acts stand out.
Yeah, and why couldn't they have done it? Because theoretically, that's what all these Soviets are here to do, is fight the Mujahideen.
Yeah.
Who would totally be there.
No, and there's one mission where Miller's like, Mujahideen are launching a major offensive, so you gotta support them by being in a totally different area and not seeing them at all.
By being literally the only force on site. It's like, whatever. But there's a ton of really cool stuff. It's super duper fun. Everything's rad as heck. Like, if they just, like, looked at my diary of things that are sweet, nearly all of them are in the game.
Also, I will point out that most of the grenade launchers that they have, they're all the underbarrel grenade launchers with standalone stocks, but you don't get the underbarrel versions until way later in the research tree, so they're making it more complicated.
My question is, do you get a master key?
Yeah.
Then everything's fine.
I think every shotgun can be made into a master key.
Then everything's fine.
Because I think you get a double barrel one.
Then everything's great. That's a super master key. Because do you get master key with slug?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because that's what I want. Guys, shotguns in this game, great. Any kind of lethal weapon is great. Like, every single one.
No, I told you I got a 308 conversion for my fall.
Shouldn't it be a 308 anyway?
Well, 308 and 7.62 are a little different. Not very much.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But there's slight differences.
Of course you would always use 308, though, because it's a cooler round.
Well, it's a hunting round, so it has better penetration, which is sweet.
Although the NL already has... Or the ARC already has, like, crazy good penetration.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one thing that we noticed right off the bat that you told me about, and you're right, that none of the guns are real names. And I don't know why. It does bug me.
Well, here's
I don't want to shoot a fakel.
Well, here's the deal. I actually checked it out, and I think the reason why they did it the way they did it is because I think they wanted to incorporate as many guns as they could but they all kind of blend them together. Because if you look at, I actually looked this up the other day. If you look at some of the guns, they're definitely composites of several different guns put together. No more so than in the 45, because it kind of looks like a mashup between the 1911 and the.
Let's bring up pictures now, folks.
Yeah, it looks a little like a mashup between a high power and an M1911 and like a CZ kind of all together.
Yeah, it totally does.
So, like, I think they're just trying to satisfy all the fanboys by having as few weapons with as many features of the guns that people like as possible. Because you got the fun Browning slide, you got the full bulk 45 bulkiness of the M1911, you got the back spur of the M1911.
It's called a beaver tail.
Yeah, whatever. You got the so it has a lot of very similar aspects to a lot of different guns.
They're saying a witness, nice. Yeah, I don't think that's the reasoning behind it. Because I think at the end of the day, they would have probably more people would have liked real guns.
Probably. And like this gun, it's a cross between a Walther PPK and a Makarov.
Yeah, with that, it's cool that they did that. I'm not upset about it. I'm upset. Well, okay, sorry. I guess you're right. I didn't realize that they were their own thing.
Yeah, that's something also I didn't realize until I really looked at it. Because I always thought...
man, does that mean that Ocelot's not using a single-action army?
No.
That bothers me.
That's
like a problem.
He stopped using that a while ago.
What?
Or they showed that pretty early on. That's not a surprise.
Well, that's only in this game, though, right?
Well, yeah.
That's a problem for me. That's like his gun. It's like his trademark thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in the lore of the game. Because, like, he specifically used a particular gun and continued to use it as an homage to the boss.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, the fact they couldn't do that... Like, if you had to pay for one gun, that would have been the gun to pay for.
Yeah, but I think they wanted to give him, the futury, reverse barrel, whatever you want to call it.
But there should never be any futury guns in this game. All the guns should be 80s-ish. You know?
Well, I think the Rhino was made in the 80s. I think the Mateba was 80s.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
These guns are all neat looking.
No, I really like this bullpup quite a bit.
Could there have been FAMASes, though?
I don't know.
It does bug me that there's no PSG-1, too. Even though it looks really close, but they call it some other nonsense. I know it's nitpicky. I know that. No, folks.
It throws you off in a game that was so accurate about that stuff for so long, and then to suddenly have it changed is very strange.
And fetishized it. Like a whole important scene that is memorable that everyone who played Metal Gear Solid 1 can recite to you is the speech Ocelot goes on about the single action army. Without that is that gun specifically.
Yeah.
He talks about how great it is. He's talking about that gun. It is important to his character. What even is this gun we're looking at right now?
Oh, it's a grenade launcher with 3 barrels.
Interesting. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that one's important to the lore of the game.
No, I get you. I'm right there with you.
I get it. We're not all millionaires. We're not all billionaires.
Yeah. This game was already $80 million to make.
Oh, boy. Guys, there's going to be a lot of weeks of this.
Yeah, we're not done.
We're not done. I didn't even talk about anything.
Guys, that's how professional we are, though.
Guys, if you played this game and want to talk to us about it, send us an email.
We'll happily talk to you about it.
Sonsofavid@gmail.com.
It's going to be great. You watch our YouTube channel and post comments on unrelated videos about it.
Yep.
You can watch our Ground Zeroes thing. If you haven't played Ground Zeroes and you're confused about the events of the game, we totally did a playthrough of it.
Where I totally blow it, but it's still good.
It's a lot of fun. But if you guys want to know what's going on, you can just watch that.
Yeah, why don't you go rate this podcast you just listened to on iTunes.
Guys, iTunes ratings help us fight Cypher.
It's true.
In all its forms.
Cypher and Spectre.
It's true.
And if you're tired of listening to this show, I think...
We just have one more thing to do. It's not a big deal.
Don't even worry about it. We're going to wrap it up.
We just have one more thing to do.
Just one more thing to do.
And that's our
Speed Reviews.
Tom, this is the top 10 video games we play. It's a pappy.
Babies.
Number 10, Baby Pac-Man.
Baby Pac-Man's kid. I guess there's probably a pack dong that he put into Miss Pac-Man. Who knows? Maybe it was with a mistress. Sounds great. 10 out of 10. Babies.
Babies is the popular game about the gang of street babies. You got the... I need Bloods. What's a funny baby for Bloods?
I don't know.
Well, whatever. You got the Bloods and the Cribs fighting against each other. And it gets real hardcore. It gets Burps and the Cribs. Thank you. 10 out of 10, guys. Number 8, Baby Felix. Baby Felix Halloween and Baby Felix Tennis.
Okay, what? Who's... Oh, it's Baby Felix the cat!
Oh, shit!
Yeah! 10 out of 10. Virtual Bart.
Virtual Bart apparently had this game, the part where you play as Baby Bart. I can only assume it's just a gif of that one part in The Simpsons where Bart's a baby and he's swinging around naked on that clothesline. Because that's the only thing anyone remembers about Bart being a baby. Oh, also Can't Sleep Consolate Me, 10 out of 10. Number 6, Baby Joe.
This doesn't even look like anything. This is like if Archie had a baby or something. Terrible. 0 out of 10. Baby had Captain Commando.
This is the very controversial game where Captain Commando gets a BJ from a baby. It's not good at all. 0 out of 10. Number 4, Bob the Puto Messiah.
For some reason, I remember seeing screenshots of this in like PC Gamer magazine or something. Look terrible. 0 out of 10. The baby's in the AKA Champion. Come on, baby.
This is the sequel to Baby Head, Captain Commando. Don't know how these games keep on getting made. Come on, baby. Not a great game. 0 out of 10. Number 2, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. In various Mario video games.
In various Mario games are good or bad. But my favorite is Sonic and Mario Go to the Olympics, which gets 10 out of 10.
Soji 2012.
the Rugrats franchise.
This game is a children's game.
Maybe.
Made for children. It gets a 2 out of 10. Guys, we'll catch you next week.